friends, welcome back to my vlog channel. Today we're just doing a good old-fashioned sit-down video. I'm in front of the bookshelves today. We're gonna be talking about some books. Now, before we get into this video, I need to give a special shout out to a specific commenter who on one of my previous videos commented something along the lines of, don't be afraid to have negative opinions about books. You know, like I need YouTubers to stop apologizing for not liking a book. And honestly, I felt one, not only extremely called out by this comment, but two, very grateful. So I want to say thank you to this commenter because inspired by this comment, I want to talk shit today. I want to talk about some books that I did not like. I want to talk about some books that I would not recommend. I want to talk about some books that did not work for me. We're going to be kind of negative today, and if you're not in the mood for that, bibbidi bobbidi, get the fuck out of here, all right? I have plenty of other cute little happy fun videos you can watch. Today, we're going to be talking about flops, and I'm not going to apologize for disliking these books, even if they are your fave. You know, we can all have different opinions. So yeah. Today I have 7 books that disappointed me. Some of these I finished all the way through and other ones I DNF'd. We're just gonna go big or go home and knock 3 right out of the park. Initially, when I read this trilogy, I was going to do an entire reading vlog, and I filmed an entire reading vlog reading the Dreamland Billionaires series by Lauren Asher. I filmed the reading vlog, at least for the first 2 books. And by the time I got to the 3rd one, I was like, this video is just gonna be 45 minutes of me hating these books. And I just decided it wasn't worth uploading. But yeah, so if you're wondering, like I did mention it briefly on Instagram, and if you ever were like, where was that vlog? Yeah, I decided to scrap it because of how disappointing this series was to me. It was so bad. These are billionaire romances, and one thing I did learn by reading these is that I am not a billionaire romance girly. Fuck billionaires, I hate them, eat the rich. And very rarely, I feel like, can authors make them likable to me, so I think that kind of just threw me off, but this was the first billionaire series that I ever read, so it's like, you don't know what you don't know until you go in. So I went in pretty optimistic with the fine print. This one follows Zara and Rowan. I felt like this one was okay. I gave it 3 stars or something. It just felt like it was missing something. Like it was a romance and it had the tropes and, you know, it had a fun plot and it had all the ingredients to be a good book, but it just felt like there was something missing, and I just didn't care for Rowan at all. I didn't find him swoony. I just found him kind of annoying. Okay, so I gave it 3 stars and I was like, whatever, meh, it's the first book in the series. You know, sometimes first books are not the best, and then as you go in, it just gets better and better. Wrong! That did not happen here because Terms and Conditions, wow, this is the worst book in the series. This might be one of the worst books I've read. And I'm not talking in terms of like writing, because I actually think the writing in these books is fine, but I'm talking in terms of romance. This is about Iris and Declan, and again, another billionaire. Iris is actually Declan's personal assistant in this book. He would overwork her, he would underpay her, he would disrespect her time, he would like overschedule things. He was just so rude to her. He would give like pay cuts to his employees, he would give healthcare, he wouldn't like give them enough healthcare. So like I don't remember. He was doing very billionaire shit. And I remember this entire book felt like Iris was just teaching Declan how to treat people with kindness. Honestly, I got that vibe with both of these books. Both Zara and Iris were just teaching Rowan and Declan how to be functioning men in society and not be dicks. That's not romance to me. Romance to me is about men pining after women, men being healthy, men respecting women. Like, this is not romance to me, okay? So I DNF'd Terms and Conditions because 30% in, I was like, absolutely not. I would not touch Declan with a 10-foot pole, let alone read another 500 pages about him. I just don't get it. I don't swoon over billionaire men who treat everyone around them like they're second-class citizens until the end of the book. Like, I get that they go through character development through the stories. Doesn't fucking matter to me. It's not romantic. It's just not the kind of romance I want to read about. But then I did pull through and I did try to read Final Offer. This is the last book. This one follows Cal and Alana, and the reason I pulled through and I even finished the series was because Cal is very different than his older brothers Rowan and Declan, and I do think that this is the best book in the series. This is like a second chance friends to lovers, and he struggles with alcoholism, and I feel like this one goes a lot more into, like, this one just had Final Offer had the heart and the soul and the character that was missing from the other books. So I do think this is the best in the series, but overall, like, it's just, I don't think it's worth your time in my opinion. Like, I did not like it. I was disappointed by it. If you like billionaire romance and you like grumpy sunshine, like male grumpy, female sunshine vibe, then maybe you'd like them. I've just realized those tropes don't do it for me. I don't want women that are like pining over men that act like they don't care about them. I don't want it. Next is a book that I actually DNF'd, but I DNF'd it so early on that I'm putting it in this video because I kind of want y'all to like convince me to read it. Like, y'all need to tell me if I need to give it another shot, okay? It's Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. I feel like everyone was talking about this like a good 2 years ago, and it was sitting on my shelf. It's pretty short, it's like under 300 pages, and so I picked it up a few weeks ago and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. This book follows Matt and Grace. It is a second chance romance. It's set in New York City, and basically like they met each other in college and became really close, and then it's like 10 years later and they end up seeing each other again on the subway. Like, he sees her as she like gets on the subway, they make eye contact, the subway train pulls off, and they don't get to like talk or say anything, but then he just becomes so curious. He's like, what has Grace been up to? He's trying to like find her on social media. He can't find her. So what does this man do? This man goes on, I kid you not, Craigslist, and he posts one of those posts being like, hi, I'm male 24 and I just saw female 23 on the subway with green eyes, and I just immediately put the book down. I immediately put the book down. I think we're even meant to believe that she finds him through the Craigslist post. And to me, like, a man that would use Craigslist to track me down is an immediate red flag. It gave me an ick. Like, just make him find her like Instagram and DM her. Like, I don't understand why we had to make it weird like that. So I DNF'd it. It was pretty like, it was only like 30 pages in or something, I don't know. So let me know if I should just overlook it and keep going and it's worth finishing. But yeah, I can't lie. The Craigslist thing kind of gave me an ick, so like kind of a petty reason, but I don't give a fuck. Next, we have Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. You know this is a disappointing read because I thought I was gonna love it so much that immediately on page 1, I started annotating when I started reading it. I had so much hope. The cover is stunning. I've heard great things about Sarah Adams. I was so excited for this book, okay? And I gave it like a 3 stars, so it wasn't completely awful. After literally like 10 pages, I was like, oh, no longer annotating. So now I have a book that has like the first 3 pages annotated. What am I gonna do with that? This follows Annie and Will. Annie is a floral shop owner. She lives in a small town. Annie's sister-in-law is a famous pop star, and Will is her bodyguard, her tattooed bodyguard. Because like this is my type right here. Like, I was so drawn in by this cover that I immediately had to buy it, and I loved Will. Will gave me what he needed to give. He was great. He was hot, he was communicative, he was healthy, he didn't say too much. I love a man that knows when to shut the fuck up. Like, he was great. Annie, on the other hand, this is Grumpy Sunshine, and again, we're sensing a theme. I don't think Grumpy Sunshine like works for me. I think it needs to be reverse Grumpy Sunshine, but this is definitely original Grumpy Sunshine, and it's just Grumpy Sunshine taken to the extreme. Annie is, I think, like 27 or something. Like, she's in her late 20s. She's about to turn 30. She acts like she is 16, and she's a virgin, which is fine, but like virgin FMCs, never gonna do it for me. I don't understand why that's a trope. It's just not. I don't like it. But then on top of that, she literally did act like a child. Like, she had a swear jar. A 27-year-old grown-ass woman had a swear jar. I gave it 3 stars because, yeah, I just really didn't like Annie as a character. So next, we have Falling for Temptation by MJ Hendricks. I have ranted about this on my ASMR podcast on my Patreon, so if you've seen that episode, I'm sorry, you can skip this, but I'm gonna talk about it again because this was the most disappointing fucking read of my entire year. This will probably be in my worst reads of 2023 video if I make one. This is a bad girl, good boy, new adult college romance. It follows Harley and Adam. And Harley, she's like running from some secrets in her past. She's covered in tattoos. She's this like bad girl. She has this reputation. Whereas Adam, he was raised in a very conservative religious family, and he, for the first time ever, is going to like public school, and he's going to college, and he meets Harley in one of his classes. They become friends, blah, blah, blah. You follow the story, whatever. They get together, they're happy, they're working on all of Harley's, you know, traumatic backstory. You're finding out all this stuff. We have, at this point, had about 3 or 4 graphic on-page sex scenes, which no problem to me. Love a good spicy scene, I don't mind. But then, I'm not even kidding, about this far into the book, for some reason, MJ Hendricks decides to drop a completely useless plot twist on us, and Harley admits that she's been lying about her age the entire time and is actually 17 years old. I just don't understand why we would label something adult romance, include 18+ scenes, and then for no apparent reason, go back on all of, like, it just felt like as a reader, I was having the rug pulled from under me, and I don't like that. I don't want to feel fucking tricked. Also, this is kind of a dark book, and what about this cover screams dark romance? None. Nothing. Nada. Let's learn how to label and promote and describe our books accurately so that readers can find books that they enjoy. Because I did not enjoy this. And I actually was so excited for this series, I bought the first 2 books, and now I don't know what to do with these. So if anyone wants these, let me know. The last book that I have on this list that disappointed me is from an author that I've enjoyed in the past, but can be kind of hit or miss, it really depends. It's actually by Elle Kennedy, but she was writing as Erin Watt. I believe this is when she was like a duo author with her friend. So if you see any books published by Erin Watt or Elle Kennedy, it's the same author. This is about a girl named Ella who ends up going and moving in with Callum Royal and his 5 sons. It's kind of like a why choose, like she kind of gets flirty with all the different sons, but I think at the end of the series, she only ends up with one of them. I don't even remember. I won't be reading it. There's like 5 books in this series and they all follow the same people. I won't be reading more than book 1. So yeah, I gave this one a shot because I have liked some of Elle Kennedy's books in the past, but I think this one just didn't age well. This one did not age well. When was it originally published? 2016, I think? Yeah, it just didn't age well. This felt like it was written by a pervy old man. I'm a woman reading romance written by mostly women. I just don't understand why we have to use stupid tropes. Like men who treat women like garbage and men who are pervy and weird. Why do we have to include these? I don't want this. Like, what about these is romantic? I just don't get it. But yeah, every man in this book was so weird. Like the way that they talked about Ella, the way that they looked at her. There's graphic on-page sex, and it's a YA novel. At least this one's blatant and honest about being YA, unlike other books. But there is graphic on-page YA sex, so if that bothers you, definitely stay away. But it felt like it was written by a pervy old man. It was weird. It was weird. Weird vibes. Did not like the energy created in the studio this day. I think this author has way better books that are more worth your time. That's it, my friends. Those are all of my disappointing reads so far from this year. The books that I have just been like, what the fuck was that? You know, books that made me mad, books that gave me the ick, or whatever. Those are them. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what books have disappointed you recently. And if you think I should give Before We Were Strangers another go, also let me know in the comments. I need to be convinced to read it again. But yeah, I will talk to you all in my next video. I'm sending you lots of love and light. Bye!